Welcome to Fresh Off the Set. I'm Kari Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm Cami Street. Thanks so much for listening, you guys.
Okay, I'm pumped for this interview. I got to talk with Austin Giorgio. He is super talented. So he's a singer, he's a musician. He talks about like his dream collab on who that would be. And it's so somebody that was not on my radar to think of who he would choose because it's like a total opposite style of his.
Fun.
So it's really interesting to hear that moment. We get to know him a little better, his writing styles. He truly wants someone who's listening to one of his songs to really like connect to it.
He sounds really deep.
He is. He's an old soul. If you could collab with any musician,
God, that's a hard question. I think I might have said this on a podcast before, but she takes the running because I just want to get inside this sweet lady's head. And Britney Spears, baby. I would totally collab with her.
I love her.
I just think she's one of the best performers in the world and in our time. And obviously we've seen her life go in different directions, but I just think she, no matter what and where she's going, she's incredible and always will be like Britney Spears and one of my favorite performers.
She's my inspiration for abs. I look back at like the Slave video and I'm like, yeah, that's honestly, I used to have pictures of her up in my room just so I could like, not just look like her.
Singer, but an all-around performer.
Britney Spears, I love it. We love
She's
a good
queen
Britney
too,
moment.
baby.
Queen. Mine would be Prince. I am obsessed and have been since like I was little.
Prince is pretty awesome.
I did get to see him. He is king. I did get to see him live. In my opinion, he's one of the greatest guitar players like of all time. Just one of the greatest musicians of all time. So I think that's who. Actually, no, that's who mine would be.
Good answer. That might be a good fun trio.
It would be. Yeah, that would be for sure. But anyway, chatted with Austin. He's an awesome guy, super talented, and he has a lot to say. So should we give it a listen?
Let's give it a listen.
Austin, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I am so thrilled for this interview. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on this morning. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Okay, your sound, Austin, has been described as like dark and cinematic and brooding. What artists or experiences would you say have influenced your like very unique musical style?
You know, it's funny. I kind of had this epiphany recently. I grew up on like a lot of like the American Songbook, you know, like the jazz songs, the Bobby Darins, the Frank Sinatras.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, fortunately enough, I had a sister and she got me into like R&B in the early 2000s. So I was, you know, I was listening to Bow Wow thinking, you know, I'm going to be finding love in the club when I'm like honestly catching like bugs.
That was the time that music era was phenomenal.
It was. I mean, I thought it was like 5 a.m, like some shorty was going to be calling me. And so when I really think about it, that's kind of what my music is. It's like this like classy, cinematic, sexy music. And I honestly think that's kind of what shaped it. I listen to a lot of different types of music, obviously, but those two definitely were on the forefront of it all.
Oh, that's a good background. And as we're talking, we can hear you have this deep, velvety voice, Austin, that stands out in today's pop landscape, really. Have you always sung in this style, or did it kind of like develop over time?
Well, to be honest with you, I really didn't sing. I really wanted to honestly open an antique bicycle shop. I'm kind of like an old guy in a younger guy's body. I started posting videos online of me singing because I was selling bicycles. So my father was a jazz singer, and my mom would say, hey, you should sing some of these songs your dad sings, try to tie it in with the bikes and all that. So I kind of just emulated him. And I emulated the singers I grew up listening to. And then, you know, like any artist, I guess, you just kind of get into your own thing. You find that sound, you find how you sing. You stop like mimicking and you just start being yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a weird evolution. I don't know if there ever was a moment in time, but it definitely slowly evolved into myself.
Sure. Like over time. That makes sense. All right. And your album, Chronicles of the Darkest Hour, dropped on Valentine's Day. What's the story behind this album's concept, and what do you hope listeners take away from it?
Well, you know, it was about a year and a half in the making. We got a part 2 coming out later this summer. You know, it's really just kind of the stories of relationships in those quiet moments. You know, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the songs I grew up listening to, that songbook, you know, it'd be talking about like, you know, your face is like lavender and the sky smells like joy, like very beautiful songs, but it didn't like talk about like the real deep stuff and like some of the taboos in relationships, whether it's like the roommate phases, the finding intimacy again, like learning to feel good about yourself in a not just a, you know, you're gonna make it kind of way, more like, hey, I am sexy. I feel good. I should be doing this stuff. That's kind of what this album is. It tells a story from the beginning of, first intimacy, if there's, flavors of lust or whatever it may be, but then it evolves into the deeper sides of things. And that's kind of what I want the album to be, of just a reminder of people, it's always easier to leave than to stay and love someone. You got to choose that person, whether it is yourself or not. That's kind of what this project is. It's really just a bunch of different forms of love songs, whether it's for someone else or yourself.
That's good. Yeah, I think that people can appreciate, I think in today's day and age where like the surface stuff isn't interesting anymore to people. Like we want to get to the roots and the deep and the dark and the reasons underneath. And I definitely think that that's what you bring, and the authenticity is what people can relate to. Don't you say? Totally. I mean, there's other artists out there singing probably about more, what's the word? Maybe pivotal concepts of mental health and things I think are fantastic. Yeah. Maybe down the road I can get into that, but I agree with you. It's really about the relationship side of things and the just starting to have fun again. I think the thing I love most about this tour and with the album is I get so many couples coming up to me and they're like, we were going through this thing, that's everybody. And we started to learn to have fun again. Like it came down to us communicating and this and that. And now your music's a part of some of our fun stuff. It's kind of funny and weird and vulnerable for them to say that, but it just shows that, it's I guess it's helping people in a way maybe some people don't see, which sure. I think is great. Sure. That's pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely. And Culture Fix actually called your album Brooding and Cinematic. How did you approach the songwriting and production process to create that like dramatic feel? Every song's so different, some are written by myself, some I have incredible songwriters. And it really stems from a few different things. Lyrically, it could be either personal experiences or if there's somebody in the room, a friend or something, or going through something. I also read a lot. So like if I'm reading a certain type of book or something, that might bleed over into whatever I'm writing. And then sonically, I work hand in hand with like really a couple close friends of mine that help me co-produce some of these songs. So, I'll take it to where it needs to go, and then they come in and they really kind of put that polish on it to make it sound radio ready in a simple sense. Sure. And I know it's all different with writing songs. Like one could take maybe a few weeks, one could take a couple days, or what? Is there an average of how long it takes you to come up with a song? And maybe is there one you can think of that took the longest? Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, it's like it does take so different, and everyone's different. Every artist is different. Every story is different. I would say like generally the song's done in a day. Wow. Depending on what it is, that's the average. There's the occasional ones. Like, what's funny is, last year around this time, I was in the middle of being not signed and about to be signed with my label here, and so there was a gray area of where I could release stuff, I could write stuff, but it can't be like original music. It could be like a cover, or it could be like jingles on TikTok, blah blah blah. So, anyways. Somebody made these comments on my videos, and I just made responses to them, and I made this song. It's called Chokehold now, and it was just for fun. Like I didn't even want it to be a song. Mm-hmm. And people just kept asking for it. And by the time we signed the deal, we released one song. People were still asking about it. Another song, still asking about it. So 5 months later, I'm like, I got to freaking finish this 30-second thing I wrote as a joke. And so that one took a while. I finished it and I'm like, yeah, it's really not that good because I didn't really like it in the first place. So that one took a while to get it to a point where I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. It's still a little novelty to me, but like I like it. It really resonated with people. Apparently, they were like, "Come on!" Yeah, they love it. To me, it's like, I mean, yeah, I think it's a fun song to sing live. I think to me, it's like a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star type song for me. Yeah, there's like not a lot of movement, but I get it. It's the vibe, it's the context, and everything like that. And people love it. People feel it. Okay, well, Chronicles of the Darkest Hour tour that you have been on is doing so well. What can fans expect from your live performance? Any surprises in store?
there's going to be clowns coming in. Little penguins will make the entrance first. When people are standing front row, just stand back a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it's, honestly, just come to have fun. I mean, we're playing obviously all the songs from the records and some of the songs that really kind of got me started in finding, my people. And I'd say, honestly, have fun and meet people there, because we have a Discord. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I wasn't like a month or two ago until honestly my team said you should do this. And like a lot of people just make friends and have fun, shared experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, come. And little Luna, she's been opening up the tour. She's fantastic. She's like the ray of sun, or I should say the bright moon in all of our darkness.
Oh, that's cool. Little balance there. Nice.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Very great person. So people definitely, I think, are enjoying seeing her sing and meeting her after the show. And I'm meeting everybody after the show too. So there's nothing no special ticket. I think the only thing that costs you is your time. If you're willing to hang around, I try to meet everybody.
That's really cool. I don't think you see everyone doing that, so that's nice of you. And speaking of touring, it's a big part of like connecting with fans, like you were saying. Do you have any memorable moments that you can think of the tour so far, and just connecting with people and hearing their stories?
Oh man, there's so many. It's like when someone asks you what's your favorite movie, and suddenly you don't.
It's hard
know
to
any
pick.
movies.
You're like, I can't think of anything. Well, I think it's special, probably connecting with people, and the fact that you stay to meet them, because it's always so fun to go to your favorite artist concert and feel the music and have such a great time, but then to meet them is like a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's been honestly my pleasure meeting everybody, talking with everybody. I think the coolest part is, because everybody has different tiers of kind of how involved they are with the music. And I think what's really interesting is when I meet people that, I see online all the time, whether it's in my comment section on the Discord, and, it's just an icon and a username. And then I get to see them in person, and they're such beautiful people. They got such rich backgrounds, and I think that's what's the most fun personally, because you kind of it's almost like you don't meet them because I already know them, but then you really get to dive in and see everything about them. That's been honestly some of the most memorable moments for myself.
That's really cool. That's definitely cool. And with hundreds of millions of streams and over 1.8 million monthly listeners on Spotify, you've built quite an incredible fan base, Austin. How have you connected with listeners in such a powerful way? Do you think, even if they haven't met you in person, how are you connecting with them as they're listening to your music?
They're all fake streams. We bought them from Chinese bots. So they're pumping our numbers.
You're funny too. You do a comedy show as well. You're fun.
I'm going to quote you on that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, wait, I'm sorry. I lost the train of thought. The original question is, how am I connecting with everybody?
Yeah. If we talked about on tour and in person, but how do you think you connect with people when they're driving and listening to your song, or maybe they've just had a big breakup, or, and in their room listening to your music, and how are you connecting with them in such a powerful way with not even being in person?
Oh, I don't even know if it has anything to do with me, and more of just people kind of creating their own soundtrack to their memories and to the things going on in their life. My music stays pretty consistent of what it is. And I kind of am aware of not shifting it, because I don't want to be the guy that puts you in a movie theater and then all of a sudden I turn the lights on and I go a completely different direction. You didn't really sign up for that.
Yeah.
So I kind of know what people are expecting, what they really enjoy. And I'm sure I could write different types of songs and some would love it. But I try to stay true to kind of why I'm doing it. And it's really just creating cinematic, classy, black tie type music. It's not it's not evil and it's not depressed. It's just kind of moody. Mm-hmm. I want it to feel like, that classiness of driving around in a fancy car at night, or, that burning feeling of, when you have that tension with somebody that you like. Those moments are great when you're first falling in love, or you're first are they thinking about me? I'm thinking of them. That's kind of what I try to stay true to. And that seems to be what's connecting with a lot of people.
I love that. I definitely think so. I think you're right. And you also have a very strong social media presence with over 1 million TikTok followers. How would you say social media has played a role in your rise as an artist?
It's added a couple points of cringe and jokes within my circles for sure. But that's okay. It's kind of like the medicine you need to take to kind of move it. I'm thankful for social media. A lot of my peers and honestly myself, like, yeah, it's kind of it's annoying a little bit doing it, because it's not totally authentic in the sense of, I'm just not that type of person. I never really even had social media until, I think I was like 16 or no, not 16, maybe like 18 or 19.
Wow.
I wasn't a fan of it. Still really am not, to be honest with you. But I think what's more important is I'm just trying to deliver music, and I'm just trying to find the right ways to get it to the right people. So it is kind of like social engineering of you have to figure out what to say, what to do.
Yeah.
What's that fine line that sometimes you cross over of like, that was a little weird. I don't know. It was a little forced.
Yeah.
So it is if anything, it's like, you're kind of like what you're doing with everything in your world, whether it's hair, acting, talking, like it's two completely separate things, although you are the common denominator. So you kind of balance both worlds.
Totally. And sometimes, social media can be, with you, I think you speak authentic, like that's your language. And so it's that balance of being authentic, but also like being entertaining, and you kind of have to like pull some acting in there and, like bring people in. And so people stay engaged. So I think it can be so tricky. You're right. But I think you're doing a great job. You're doing really well. I think it's like day to day, just depending on how the day is, right?
I appreciate it. Yeah, totally. I mean, you get it. Obviously, I'm not trying to make every video viral. There's a balance of, there are people that are actively watching stuff every day.
Yeah.
So they see all the stuff that I'll delete. But, it is a balance, trying to not exhaust people too much.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure. Well, you're doing great. And what do you think has been, like, if you're looking at your career so far, what has been the most unexpected or like surreal moment of your career that you can think back on where it like caught you off guard, or where it's like super memorable, or it's, like kind of time slowed down?
Yeah, I could think of it like vividly. It was years ago when I was fortunate enough to be on the NBC show, The Voice. At that time, it's so funny. I didn't even think music was gonna be my thing, to be completely transparent. And I remember I had a P.O. box, again, old soul type dude. I was just like, let me, like, if you want to write me letters, and that'd be kind of cool. I remember this girl, I remember she wrote me this letter. And essentially what she was saying, she was writing this letter, and she was just explaining that, she had red hair, which I think is beautiful. And she was just saying she feels picked on, she doesn't feel right, and she's very suicidal. And I reminded her of her late cousin. And I just like remember like thinking, man, that is like so heavy. And to think like her parents might have seen that, because she's 14. So how does she mail that? So that was like the moment of, oh, wow. Like, doesn't matter what I'm singing, I guess. People just find comfort in whatever it is. So that was a big moment for me for sure.
Yeah. And that you remember that, because I'm sure you get a lot of fan mail, a lot of messages, a lot of DMs, a lot of letters. So that stood out, and that you could have helped her. That speaks to the person that you are. It's really cool.
Yeah.
If you could, Austin, collab with any artist, past or present, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Let me think here.
Okay.
One. I know some easy answers. I think an interesting one would be Cher. Because my mother really likes Cher, and I like Cher. I think she's what a woman,
Yeah.
I think she would be incredible to do something with.
That's cool. I love that one.
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Cher. Okay. I like that. Okay, Austin, what's next for you after this tour? Any upcoming projects or any music in the works? Or are you just going to take like a good break, sleep for a little bit, relax?
Yeah, probably. Well, we're going to get, once I get back, I'm probably going to take a couple of weeks to just relax a little bit, and then get part 2 ready. I know we're starting to plan the European tour, so we're going to go back there in the fall, and then getting ready for more music in 2026. It's kind of the first time really in my career, the past probably like 5-6 months, it's been like exponentially, chaotic. There's just been a lot of moving parts all at once.
Yeah.
So I'll probably spend a couple of weeks just doing nothing, trying to go in the lake and enjoy the weather. I left Nashville in March. It was cold. I'm essentially coming back to summer now, so it'll be fun to kind of just go swimming.
Be a little different.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
And just relax. Yeah, you definitely need to do that, because I imagine tour can be a little chaotic. Is there anything on tour that you love to have? Like, is there a snack or somewhere you love to stop if you're like driving by and you're like, wait, we got to stop, we got to go there? Is anything you love to do or like that you have to have with you on tour?
There's so many. I think the funny answer would be Cheesecake Factory, because half my band are not big fans.
I love Cheesecake Factory.
I'll die on the hill of it. Like, I get why, they have some valid arguments, but like, if it were up to me, we'd be hitting Cheesecake Factory like every other day. And we've hit it once. So now you're reminding me, I think we're going to hit it on the way to LA.
I love it. And there's usually one in like big cities, so you definitely could stop there. I love the one here in Salt Lake. We have a couple, so yummy. Okay, for aspiring musicians, Austin, looking to break in the industry, is there any advice that you'd give them about staying authentic, which is what we've spoken about you being so good at, and finding success? Any like little tips that you could give somebody?
I don't know. Everyone's advice is so different. Everyone's path is so different, truly. I know it's kind of like a cop-out answer. I guess if there's maybe one foundational one that maybe my friends and I have all maybe leaned on, is just have like an overwhelming amount of like kind of delusion that you're going to make it, and just plan on no plan B.
Like that. I like that a lot. That's good. All right. Well, I wish we had more time to talk with you, but we like to try to get in our fresh 5 questions, where I'm just going to ask you 5 really quick, super fun questions. Are you good with that?
Let's do it. Okay,
here we go. Number 1, favorite dessert. I know we just mentioned Cheesecake Factory, but do you have a favorite dessert?
Yes, I do. It's those cookie skillet things.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, not good for you.
No.
But delicious.
But good for the mouth. Oh my gosh, those are so yummy. Okay, are you night owl or early bird?
Definitely night owl.
Night owl, okay. Up late. Tattoos or piercings?
I got my ears pierced. I think I'm actually going to get my first tattoo ever in Los Angeles. So
nice. Do you know what it might be, or is that under wraps? Is that a little secret?
I kind of like either like a little rose or like JG or like some, but this is why I don't have tattoos. I'm pretty indecisive with that type of thing. So it's like, I guess I have to really think about it these next like 24 hours.
You got this. You can do it.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Austin, it's brunch. What are you ordering?
Brunch. Oh man. Honestly, probably one of those like acai bowls if they have them. I love those, like the oats on them and stuff.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. It's almost like a dessert again, where we made it back to dessert.
But you're balancing out the cookie pie. Like if you have an acai bowl, then it doesn't count. The cookie bowl doesn't count, so you're good. Yeah. Okay, last and final one. What makes you smile?
What makes me smile? Man, so many things. Just the ability to be alive.
That's a good one. I'll take that. All right. Well, you're phenomenal. This was so fun chatting with you. If we want to follow along, what's the best place? Where can we, follow your tour and everything that's new with you?
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Kari, for having me on. Truly, you and Hannah.
Of course.
You can find me. It's my name backwards because I couldn't get the handle. So it's Giorgio Austin.
Okay.
And Giorgio spelled like Giorgio Armani. It probably didn't really help, but yeah. That's the name. And then, I got a couple of shows. So I got Salt Lake City, and then we end at Denver. And then this part of the tour is concluded. So that will be the final hour of the Chronicles of the Dark Hour. So
very cool. Well, it's been so fun getting to know you a little bit better, and your desserts and what tattoos coming up. I mean, you're so talented, and so many people love and respect you. So thank you for chatting with me today. And we can't wait to see what the future brings for you, Austin. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me. Truly. Can't wait to meet both of you in person.
Oh, we're excited. Come down anytime. Thanks, Austin.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock.
You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.